United States kills Iran's most powerful general in Baghdad airstrike. That is the topic of today's op-ed live. So this is coming from the Associated Press, that the United States killed Iran's top general and the architect of Tehran's proxy wars in the Middle East in an airstrike at Baghdad's international airport early on Friday, an attack that threatens to dramatically ratchet up tensions in the region. The targeted killing of General Qasem Soleimani, the guy you see him right here. Soleimani, the head of Iran's elite Quds force, could draw forceful Iranian retaliation against American interests in the region and spiral into a far larger conflict between the United States and Iran. But I do believe the United States did the right thing by attacking and killing off Soleimani. This is one of the worst terrorists, probably even worse than Osama bin Laden and even Baghdadi. Soleimani, he was responsible of Americans dying in Iraq between 2013 to 2018, 17% of them. That's what kind of a heinous human being he was, okay? So the Defense Department said it killed Soleimani because he was actively developing plans to attack Americans, okay? He was actively. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei warned that a harsh retaliation is waiting for the United States. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what they have to revenge, okay? Iranian state TV carried a statement by Khamenei also calling Soleimani the international face of resistance, okay? So Donald Trump, he's not playing around. He's not playing around. He said whenever there's an American who's killed by other foreign nations, he's not going to just sit back and watch it. He's going to retaliate. That's how he is. And I think North Korea is going to have to take notice. Kim Jong-un is going to have to take notice that Donald Trump, he's not playing around with this whole thing. When he threatens, he backs it up with action, okay? And he's not even supposed to go to the international airport. He's not supposed to even get out of Iran, okay? According to United Nations rules, he's not supposed to even take a flight. But he tried and he died. That's what happened here, okay? Trump was vacationing on his estate in Palm Beach, Florida, but sent out a tweet of an American flag today, okay? This is what happened from the beginning. Tehran shot down a United States military surveillance drone and seized oil tankers. The United States also blames Iran for a series of attacks targeting tankers, as well as a September assault on Saudi Arabia's oil industry that temporarily halved its production. Okay? He was 62 years old, Soleimani. And he was a target of Friday's United States attacks, which was conducted by an armed American drone, according to a United States official. So this guy is kind of like the mastermind behind Iran, about all the terrorists' attack. I mean, somebody from Fox News, he quoted Soleimani as this: he's like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick combined. Okay. So the Republicans are cheering of what happened, but the Democrats are angry of what happened. It's fueling partisan warfare on Capitol Hill right now. Fox News is reporting the killing of Iranian General Soleimani in a United States airstrike late Thursday immediately touched off a fresh partisan clash on Capitol Hill, with Republicans cheering the death of the brutal military commander as long overdue, and Democrats voicing concerns that they weren't consulted and that it could drag the United States into a new Middle East conflict. Why would President Trump and the Republicans consult this kind of important matter with the Democrats? Of course not, they shouldn't, because they would have leaked it to Iran. There's a lot of deep state players, as you might already know, that the Trump campaign was spied upon by the Obama administration. I told you over and over. Then why would Trump reveal all this important source? Of course he shouldn't. He shouldn't, okay? So Lindsey Graham, he described it as a defensive move by the United States based on strong intelligence of potential attacks and one that would send a message to United States foes across the globe. This is what he said about North Korea. This was a preemptive attack to let everyone know from North Korea, just anyone else, that if you come after Americans on President Trump's watch, you do so at your peril. Okay? This is what Lindsey Graham said, you know. You can't just play around like that in front when America's around. It's not the Obama administration. It's not Benghazi. Okay? While he gave $1.2 billion in cash, I'm talking about Obama, to Iran, giving up 26 suspected terrorists to Iran. That's what Obama did, you know. Obama has weakened America's foreign policy, and Donald Trump is trying to recover all that and some more. Okay, let's check out some news headlines and Twitter feeds. Okay, Trump tweeted this today. It's just an American flag. You know, he's showing to the world that America, they will not stand for this, okay? They will not stand. There's a new sheriff in town. And Soleimani, he has been responsible for more than 600 plus Americans' death. So it was long overdue. It was long overdue. George W. Bush had a chance, but he didn't do it. Barack Obama had a chance to take him out. He didn't do it too because they didn't want to escalate the tension between the United States and Iran, but Trump took care of it. Okay, let's move on to the next page. Lee Smith tweeted this: Trump Middle East policy seems sound. Okay, you see Baghdadi, he died October 26th of 2019 in Syria. You guys all remember that. And Soleimani died January 3rd, 2020 in Baghdad, Iraq. Let's move on. Jack Posobiec tweeted this: did you know Soleimani planned the 2012 attacks in Libya because he knew about the gun running to Syrian rebels that was going on out of the CIA annex? He was responsible for Benghazi, and now he is dead. Let's move on. Mark Meadows tweeted this: Soleimani was a murderer with the blood of Americans on his hands and plotting more attacks. Thank God for our military who eliminated him. President Trump sent a message: the days of appeasement are over. Target Americans and you will be swiftly brought to justice. Let's move on. Kimberly Strassel from the Wall Street Journal, she's one of the most exceptional opinion person at the Wall Street Journal. She tweeted this: forget person of the year, Washington needs an adult of the year. My pick for 2019 is Attorney General William Barr. I agree with her. I agree with her that General William Barr, Attorney General William Barr, he will get to the bottom of it. He will get to the bottom of it of what? Of Obama administration spying on Trump campaign. Okay? This is Watergate times 1,000. Barack Obama will go down as one of the most corrupt presidents. I think the media is also responsible for it because the media spoiled him. They refused to criticize him. So William Barr, one of the best things that he did was to appoint United States Attorney from Connecticut, John Durham. John Durham is getting to the bottom of it. He wants to find out where the Russia collusion was fabricated. I believe it was fabricated in Ukraine. I think John Brennan was behind it, James Clapper, James Comey. They were all together in it. They tried to bring down Trump, and it failed. And now we got to find out who was behind it, and they should go to jail, right? They should be brought to justice. Let's move on to the next page. Secretary Pompeo tweeted this: Iraqis dancing in the street for freedom, thankful that General Soleimani is no more. Let's move on. Donald Trump tweeted this: General Qasem Soleimani has killed or badly wounded thousands of Americans over an extended period of time and was plotting to kill many more, but got caught. He was directly and indirectly responsible for the death of millions of people, including the recent large number, let's move on, of protesters killed in Iran itself. While Iran will never be able to properly admit it, Soleimani was both hated and feared within the country. He was like an icon in Iran. Okay? There's even a pop song about him in Iran. So he was like a cultural icon albeit a terrorist icon. And Trump took him out. Soleimani was both hated and feared within the country. They are not nearly as saddened as the leaders will let the outside world believe. He should have been taken out many years ago. Let's move on. Trump also tweeted this. The United States has paid Iraq billions of dollars a year for many years. Who paid that money? Who paid that money? Barack Obama, right? Barack Obama even gave him $1.2 billion in cash, right? And they let Iran self-inspect. The whole Iran deal was a sham. It was ridiculous, and I applaud President Trump for pulling out of that. That is on top of all else we have done for them. The people of Iraq do not want to be dominated and controlled by Iran. But ultimately, that is their choice. Over the last 15 years, Iran has gained more, let's move on, and more control over Iraq. And that's true. That's what happened, okay? And Trump is trying to stop that. And the people of Iraq are not happy with that. It will never end well. Let's move on. Trump also tweeted this. A lot of very good people were taken down by a small group of dirty, filthy cops, politicians, government officials, and an investigation that was illegally started and that spied on my campaign. Dirty cops meaning probably James Clapper, James Comey, John Brennan, right? Politicians, probably Barack Obama, right? Hillary Clinton, Sally Yates, right? All those usual suspects, right? And Andy McCabe is not. Yeah, he's one of the dirty cops there. Government officials and an investigation that was illegally started and that spied on my campaign. The witch hunt is sputtering badly, but still going on. The Ukraine hoax. I believe the whole Trump campaign, Russia collusion thing was concocted in Ukraine. Okay. If this, let's move on. If this had happened to a presidential candidate or president who was a Democrat, everybody involved would long ago be in jail for treason and more. And it would be considered the crime of the century, far bigger and more sinister than Watergate. And I believe there would be a bunch of people going to jail. You know, I believe that James Comey will be investigated. I think he will be charged. I think John Brennan will be investigated. He is being investigated, actually, and he will be charged. I think James Clapper is also going to be charged. And I believe Barack Obama will also be investigated, because I already have told you millions of times before that if you look at the text messages between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, that POTUS wanted to know everything, right? Everything about what? About the wiretap, I guess, right? Wiretap, the Russia collusion, how they wanted to connect him somehow, right? POTUS wants to know everything. Who was a POTUS? It wasn't Donald Trump then. It was Barack Obama. So he knew about the wiretap. It was a counterintelligence. You have to be that must have been notified to President Obama at that time, okay? And I don't know why any journalist in the United States right now is not asking that specific questions to Barack Obama. Why did you wiretap on Donald Trump, okay? Did you know about it? Okay, let's move on. Lee Zeldin tweeted this. Disproportionate? Seriously? Over 500 plus United States troops were killed and thousands more were injured because of Soleimani. And he was actively planning new attacks against U.S. troops and diplomats. Pelosi is totally blinded with party over country partisan politics. POTUS definitely made the right call. He was tweeting because Nancy Pelosi tweeted that kind of nonsense. American leaders' highest priority is to protect American lives and interests, but we cannot put the lives of American service members, diplomats, and others further at risk by engaging in provocative and disproportionate actions. She was criticizing Trump of killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in a United States airstrike last Thursday. She's just being ridiculous. I think she's just a far-left loon, Nancy Pelosi, and it's just a shame that she is representing California. Let's move on. Russiagate was 100% fake. Spygate, 100% real, tweeted this. I like that ID. I keep telling you, this is not your daddy's Democratic Party anymore. Get out. That party is now completely demented. Trump just killed the world's #1 terrorist thug after Iran killed yet another American and our embassy in Iraq. Every top Democrat candidate attacked Trump for it. Let's move on. Ryan Saavedra tweeted this. The media and the Democratic Party are angry that Trump killed a terrorist that was responsible for murdering hundreds, if not thousands, of U.S. soldiers overseas. The media and Democrat Party are showing you who they are and whose team they are on. Believe them. I think they're on Team Iran. It seems like so. I think they would love to see Iran win over the Trump administration. They would not give any kind of win to Trump because they're still suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. They're still suffering from the election of 2016. They still can't get over it somehow. They just still can't get over it. And you got to remember, it was the Iranians who killed the American first. It wasn't like America attacked first, okay? Michael Knowles tweeted this because Ben Rhodes, who was an advisor for Obama, tweeted this first, okay? Does anyone think Donald Trump is equipped to handle a complex, enduring international crisis that could play out in many countries and demand expertise, rigorous process, and judicious decision-making? And then Michael Knowles is tweeting this for Ben Rhodes making such a stupid remark. He's sure doing a better job of it than you ever did. Okay. Let's move on. Steve Guest tweeted this. Really? Washington Post? Washington Post, they somehow revere these terrorists. Okay? You remember when Washington Post talked about Baghdadi, that he is an austere academic? You remember that? This is what the Washington Post headline from yesterday. Airstrike at Baghdad airport kills Iran's most revered military leader, Qasem Soleimani. Iraqi state television reports. Revered? Why do they have to put the word most revered? Soleimani was responsible for many of the bombs that killed United States soldiers. Washington Post is a deep state paper. It's a very corrupt paper. Very agenda-driven paper. And they have never supported a Republican presidential candidate ever since their paper started. You got to know that. So what is it? It's a far-left, corrupt, deep state paper. That's what it is. So let's move on. Dominique Hamilton tweeted this. When's the last time you even mentioned his name before the strike? Soleimani, because Liz Wheeler tweeted this first. Soleimani killed 603 American service members. Soleimani maimed thousands more with IEDs. Okay. Well, that's our show for today. Our show is not about left or right. It's about right or wrong. To stay up to date with our latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.